Hello, how are you? Welcome to Igbo Queer and Unfiltered Podcast. My name is Charles Okeke. Hope you had a wonderful Easter. I did not send Happy Easter to anybody, but I did reply to people that sent me Easter messages. And I had a chocolate feast with my man. It was horrible. It was horrible because it was a lot of sweet and it was wonderful. And during that period, I kept thinking about my childhood for some reason. I had a situation when I was growing up where everything was so lovely. Everybody loved me, my mother. It was such a wonderful family. And I thought that that will be something that will continue to happen in my life. Like it was such a perfect situation. Everybody, my brothers and sisters, they did everything for me. They loved me. It was so perfect in my eye. And I imagined that to be a family that I will have all my life. And that did not happen. I am literally grieving the family I imagined I would have. And in getting into this, I just wanted to go on a tangent here briefly before I get into this. I keep asking myself, why are Nigerians, why are African people so obsessed with queerness, with homosexuality, with gay people, with LGBTQIA plus individuals? They talk about it in church, in comment sections, everywhere, on their dinner table, kitchen table, everywhere. And they claim that they hate queer people. But from where I am sitting, it is not only about hate. It is obsession. And I made a TikTok video that I posted on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok, on Instagram, because this is something that I've been asking myself every time. The question is, why? Why are you so interested in something that you claim to hate? Because it does not make any sense. The reason why I'm saying this is the problem we have, because this shapes the way family treats you, the way friends will treat you, the way the African society will treat you as a whole, because they've been told that queerness is a sin. So, as I was saying, grieving the family I imagined, I thought that I'm going to have this wonderful family. Everything is going to remain the same. I am not going to be ostracized. I am still going to be in community with a lot of the people that I thought loved me. I'm looking at it. The family I have now, the family that exists. But the truth of the matter is the family I once believed I would have, because that was what I was raised on, that I'm going to have this wonderful family. It's going to be amazing. Everybody's going to care for me. Everybody's going to love me. They are going to love me unconditionally. Everything is going to be superb. But you know the thing, sometimes the hardest grief is not death, it's the loss of expectation, because I did expect that it's going to be perfect. And that expectation happens in so many ways. It can be the family you expected to have, the way you expected things to be in your life, the career you expected, your career goals, the expectation where you think you should be as an individual. And that is the hardest thing, because when those things happen, you just don't know how to deal with it sometimes. It is literally crazy and soul crushing. Because you know what? When someone passes away in your life, they are no longer here. I know it's a loss, but they are no longer here. But when people are still alive, and you know they exist, and you expect them to cater, to love you, to support you, to be there for you, and they are not doing that, sometimes it can be extremely difficult. I am speaking from my personal experience that is not really kind to me. But I am here, juicy, moisturized, hydrated, and unbothered. I am here, an Igbo gay man from Njikoko local government area of Anambra State, and I am still thriving. I am still living my life unapologetically. There are so many things that has happened to me over time where I forget that I am an adult and I will begin to act in a certain way. And I'll be like, where is my mother? My mother is no longer alive, but if she was here, maybe it will be different. I'll be like, where is my father? If my father is here, maybe it will be amazing. Maybe he'll be able to say, you should not do him like this. I have said this in so many ways that I have grieved a lot of people that are supposed to love me, that I thought will be there for me, and I no longer care. It is not easy for you to do. And a lot of the time, some of these people in my life that have become this way are people that are extremely religious. And it's such a pity because they don't really use their common sense. And these are people you think should know better, but they don't. And what they will say to me is that we love you, but you need to find Christ. Who you are is a sin. We need to do something about you because you are lost. And what do you do in situations like this? You don't want to be in an environment where you are made to feel less than. Nobody likes that. And I have fucking grieved so many things. I'm telling you this. There were times in my life, this was years ago, where I will wake up in the morning and I will fucking cry my eyes out in anger sometimes because I will be like, why the fuck did I allow myself to be in situations like this where somehow I was at the mercy of people who do not deserve anything of me? This is why sometimes I say to a lot of our people, don't be going to places to seek approval, permission, acceptance, and validation in places you will never, ever, ever in a million years get it. I expected so much of so many people, and they fucking betrayed me. I am not perfect. No human being on the face of the earth is perfect. I am not saying I have done everything correctly. I am not saying that I have respected or done anything to deserve to be in a family that is what I expected it to be. But the truth of the matter is that being someone that is born a gay man, I did not choose to be gay. I did not choose to be who I am. But I got all the disappointments and all the treatment I got because of who I am. But you know what fucking happened? I became stronger. It made me powerful. It made me amazing. It made me extremely smart, resilient, determined, and a fucking fighter. And I continue to fight. I am a survivor. I am a survivor. I am a survivor. I fucking did what I needed to do. Because at this point in time, what do? Do I sit down and start to be sorry for myself, or do I pick myself and do what I need to do? I say to myself, I am going to do what I need to do. I have grieved a lot of this nonsense and I am moving forward. Someone who is able from Nigeria, from Africa, that understands his culture, many of us grew up with some type of script that was written for us that we need to follow. And when you don't follow that script that you were given, you are in trouble somehow. The script goes this way. You will grow up. You will marry someone of the opposite sex. Your parents will celebrate you. Your children will visit you. Grandpa, grandmother, grandfather, grandpa. You know how it goes. My grandparents, my grandfather, my grandma. Family gatherings will feel warm and proud for you. That script is sold as certainty. That is something that is certain for every one of us. That is what you're supposed to follow step by step. You are going to be a father. You are going to be a mother and you are going to have children. You are then going to become a grandfather someday, a grandmother someday, and you are going to become a warm and proud person. And we are going to be proud of you. But once that does not happen, especially when you are a queer individual, when you are a queer person, especially for us queer Africans, that script does not go that way. It is broken. It is shattered. And when it shatters, when it fractures, when it breaks, something inside of us quietly breaks. Not because of we don't love who we are. That is not the problem. Something inside of you quietly breaks. Not because of you don't love yourself, because we love ourselves. This whole thing that breaks inside of us because of the way we are expected to be, to live our life, doesn't mean we don't love who we are. But you know what? It's because you realized that the picture you carried in your head, in your mind, may not really exist. Growing up, I thought my reality was I am going to get married to a woman or lie through my teeth or just not come out as gay and conform. Because I was faced as a child that homosexuality was horrible, was a sin. So I was going through life coming up with so many ways to act for people not to know that I'm gay. I became a perfect actor. I was so masculine in the way I do things, the way I spoke, the things I do, how I acted, how I carried myself, the things I expected that I was going to do. I lied. I said I had girlfriends. I did so many things to be that person. But you know what? None of those things has anything to do with me whatsoever. It was not who I am, but I was trying so hard to follow the guidelines that I was given, how life should be, how you should live your life, how things are supposed to be in the society that I came from. But that is not my reality. My reality is that I'm a gay man and I am going to live my life as a gay man. The child that I was, that expected everything to be the way I expected them, never foresee Charles Okeke living my life like this today. Because I thought that it was never going to happen. So that picture of now expecting to have a family where everybody's going to love me, I have a wife, I have children and everything is never going to happen for me. And the thing is that I do not want children at the same time. It was never something I wanted, even dreaming of all of those things, because I'm like, I don't want children. Why do I have to do all of these things? But somehow, subconsciously, you still are feeling that this is what you're supposed to do. But I want to tell you, you were never broken. I was never broken. I always loved myself, but you are told that you are supposed to do all of these things. And you want to follow that. The grief we have sometimes can be extremely invisible. And most times you just carry them because you don't know how to deal with things. Nobody teaches you how to grieve the acceptance you hoped for. And this is why I say this a lot of the times, that some of us go through life, some of us queer people, we go through life hoping for acceptance and looking for acceptance where we will never ever get them. Nobody teaches you the ease you imagine, the unconditional support you thought was guaranteed. You may still speak to some of your family members. You may still show up at family gatherings, family celebrations, family holidays. But internally, there is distance. I am a living example of this. I speak to a lot of my cousins. I talk to some of them. I show up at events and things like this. But inside of me, I am so fucking far away from them, emotionally and otherwise. I don't know how to explain this to make it make sense to you, but something inside of me does not connect the way it used to. I am fucking okay with that. The thing is, as time goes on, you begin to understand that some versions of love will never be available to you in the way you imagine them. Once you understand this, you begin to say to yourself, okay, I need to create a version of love for myself that makes sense. And that version of love that I'm going to create for myself is a version of love that will make me not to be in a situation when you speak to me crazy, it will hurt so bad. Because of something inside of me is the way it is distant. Whatever they tell me, however they speak to me crazy, doesn't have any power on me anymore. It doesn't do any harm whatsoever at all. That realization is heavy. It is heavy when you realize that something inside of you is dead when it comes to these people, even my brothers and things like this. But it is important for you to acknowledge this. Once you acknowledge this, it will be easier for you to move through life as a queer African person. I realized that I have gotten over a lot of things about my relatives. When one of my cousins and even when one of my brothers spoke crazy to me, I just did not feel bad. I just did not feel sad. I just did not feel like I'm losing something. I was saying this to my partner the other day. I said to him that I have been treated so horribly and nobody really cared to say anything to me. Nobody really cared to say, how are you? What is going on with you? But at the same time, it doesn't really affect me at all. I don't feel anything because emotionally, I have been able to handle this. I feel so extremely distant. And I'm fine with that. This is why when certain things happen, I mean, a lot of family WhatsApp groups where I am a participating member and I see things they post, I just don't resonate with it. It doesn't do anything for me. I have trained myself to be that way. If that was not the case, I will be hurt every fucking day. And this is something some of you need to learn for yourself. It is not easy to do. Therapy helped. Speaking to people that are a lot more experienced than I am helped. Self-reflection, because I do that a lot, helped. And one thing you're going to know is that there is a lot of guilt that follows this. Don't fucking get me wrong. You are going to feel guilty because you are a human being. Because this whole thing is grief. It is grief. Grief like this often comes with guilt. You are going to have a lot of guilt. But should I say that that's okay? Should I say that that's bad? You should find out for yourself. You're going to feel guilty for wanting more. You're going to feel guilty for being disappointed. You're going to feel guilty for pulling away to protect your peace. There are times where I feel guilty. I do this all the time. I would sit down and say to my man, why am I feeling guilty? Because I took this action against this family member, against this person, and things like this. And then I will realize that's okay. Because you know why? You are going to tell yourself a lot of things. Things like they did their best. I have heard a lot of my friends say this as well. They don't understand. I should not expect too much. They did their best. They don't understand. I shouldn't expect too much. My dear, they did not do their best. They should understand. You should expect fucking too much because why not? You deserve everything wonderful. But you know the thing? Grief is not disrespect. I am letting you know this. Grieving people and grieving a life you imagine for yourself, grieving a family you imagine for yourself is not disrespect. You can love your family and still mourn what was not possible for you. I want to make this extremely clear. I'm going to say this again. You can love your family and still mourn what was not possible for you in your life. Both can be true. As I say, everything, so many things can happen at the same time. That is perfectly okay. Cultural pressure and expectation flogs the crap out of us. I swear, it is something that happens every time. Children are not just individuals, they are legacy, they are reputation, they are continuity. So when queerness enters the picture, parents sometimes react from fear. Fear of gossip, fear of religious judgment, fear of losing control of the narrative. And in that fear, connection gets compromised. The version of family you imagined, the effortless pride, the easy acceptance becomes extremely complicated. That is why it is not perfect for me. I do not have a perfect family. None of them fucking cares about me. I am going to go to hell because I'm a homosexual. I am going to go to hell because this is nothing that happens in our culture. I need to find Jesus. Because of this, everything I taught as a child that would be a family, a home for me that I can go to, none of them happened. I have grieved that, and it is a process for me. Maybe you can learn one or two things from this. But you know what I have done for myself? I have redefined that family for me because grief can create a lot of hollow, a lot of emptiness in you. But another thing grief can do for you is that it can also clarify things for you. It can give you a lot of clarity. And when what you then begin to do is you begin to ask yourself, I have done this. You begin to ask yourself, what does family actually mean? Is it a biological family? Is it proximity? Or is it safety? And this is where chosen family comes in. So chosen family comes in situations like this. Chosen family isn't a replacement because you failed. It is a response to all your needs that was not met. I have chosen family. There were a lot of my needs that were never met. And those chosen family are meeting them for me today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow. You, as a queer person from Africa, you are allowed to build spaces where you are celebrated, not spaces where you are tolerated. You are allowed to redefine belonging. You are allowed to create a situation where you feel like you belong there. That this is my community, queer affirming spaces, people that loves you, people that can meet your inner yearnings, the things that you want, things that enriches your soul and your whole being. You are not wrong for wanting something like this. Nobody, no human being wants to be tolerated. You want to be celebrated. There is nothing wrong with you if you want something like this. A lot of us, queer people, have tried to make peace with our reality. I continue to make peace with my reality every fucking day. Sometimes family grow. Sometimes they soften. Sometimes they may even surprise you. And sometimes they don't. Peace doesn't always come from them changing. Sometimes it comes from accepting what is. My man says this all the time, loving what is. And I think it's a book he read a few years ago by Ron Katie and told me about it, loving what is. As I was saying, accepting what is and loving what is and adjusting your expectations. I have adjusted my expectations and I continue to adjust it and I continue to love what is and I continue to just accept what is. Because if you do this, it will make your life easier, not lowering your standards, adjusting your expectations. That is different. Nobody's saying you should lower your standards. Adjust that expectations. When you do this, you stop chasing a version of family that only exists in your imagination. Because I imagined a family where everything is perfect. Everyone loved me as a gay person. They come to my wedding. They come to my home. They dine with me. They don't judge me. They just love me and just accept me for who I am. We kiki. We go on holiday together. Everything is amazing. My cousin will be like, this is me. Like literally everything will just be good. That version of family only existed in my imagination. I stopped chasing that version of family. I stopped long time ago. And that made things easier for me. And once you do that for yourself, you will begin to invest in what is real for you, things that are real for you, and you will begin to accept your reality. You will begin to understand that your biological family may never be the family for you. And that's perfectly okay. This is why a lot of us live in situations where we are expecting this family to love us unconditionally. And it is never ever going to happen for a lot of us. We're African people. I remember one time I was speaking to one of the therapists. I have had so many therapists, and I had this particular therapist, and we were chatting away. And something came about my mother that I wanted to really, really do for my mother. And she said what I should do. And in that moment, I realized that it's just two people. Three people, actually. Four of them, one of them is late. Two of them is late because my mother is late and my sister is late. One of my sisters is late as well. Four of them were the only people that have ever loved me with no conditions. In that moment is when I realized that why am I even imagining that I'm going to have a family where everyone is accepted of me, where everyone is accepting of me, where everyone is going to love me regardless of my sexual orientation, where I'm going to go back home in my family home and it's going to be with no judgment. That's when I realized that it was just these four people. And despite the fact that two of them are late, the two that are alive are dear to me. I am investing into something that is real for me. And I refocused and said to myself, this is going to be my truth from today. I am not going to expect and seek permission and approval in places where I will never get them. I want to say this to you. If you are grieving the family you thought you would have, you are not ungrateful. You are not dramatic. It is okay to mourn what you didn't materialize. It is okay to feel both love and disappointment. And it is okay to protect your peace while still holding compassion. Grief does not mean you failed. It means you cared. Grief does not mean I'm a disappointment. All of this thing doesn't mean I lack compassion. It does not mean I lack empathy. It does not mean I lack kindness. It means I care. It's the same for you. But you will still continue to live your life regardless because your life matters. Some losses are invisible, but invisible grief still deserves space. I want to let you know that if you have imagined a family or you think that family is supposed to love you and they don't love you, they don't care for you, it is okay to grieve them. It is okay to create a safe space for you. It is okay if you feel distant from them emotionally. That does not make you a bad person. It just shows that you cared, but you deserve that space. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might be carrying quiet disappointment, who may be carrying some form of expectations that they haven't done anything about. Share it to them. Tell them that it is okay to love what is, to accept what is. It is okay for them to love themselves. It is okay for them to grieve and move on. I want to let you know that you are amazing, you are wonderful, you are perfect the way you are the light. Be gentle with yourself. Be honest and stay honest about your needs. And remember, you deserve a belonging, a community, a place that feels safe for you. Let love lead the way. Love is love. I have been Charles Okeke. This has been Igbo Queer and Unfiltered Podcast. Thank you so much for joining the movement for visibility, truth, and representation. Have a wonderful time. I will see you in the next episode.